The fine for illegal dumping has gone up from 3,000 rand per vehicle to 20,000 rand. Now, authorities in Johannesburg say they are clamping down on those contravening this very important bylaw. The Johannesburg Metropolitan Police Department released its figures this morning, and I've got JMPD's Wayne Minnaar in the studio with us to talk about it. Wayne, thank you so much for joining us and for always making yourself available. Why is this bylaw specifically so important in a city like Johannesburg?
Yes, because of the very big problem that we have with illegal dumping. We know, like, important areas to us, for an example, near the FNB Stadium, where it's really become a very big problem with rubble being dumped, tons and tons of building rubble being dumped. So hence the city is now really, we have taken a tough stance against this illegal dumping, and if a person is found for the first offence, now it's a 10,000 rand fine. A second offence would be 15,000, and if you caught a third time, the fine would be 20,000 rand.
How difficult is it to police a bylaw like that? Because you could imagine that in as much as that's one site you mentioned, that's almost quite well known probably, you could probably stake it out, but there are other places that people will go under the veil of the nighttime darkness, and they'll go and dump things secretively. How do you do that?
You see that's what makes it so difficult to police, because it happens at times and at places where we don't have officers. You know, it's a remote area, it's quiet, and as you say, sometimes at night, people take advantage of it, so they would dump. Hence, we have now got 24 hotline available, where people can report illegal dumping. We've also got a WhatsApp number. So if you do see an offender, and you can take a picture of the offender, especially the number plate, so that we've got it on record, we've got it captured, you send it to the WhatsApp number, and then we can trace the offender.
Why are people doing this? Is it because there aren't enough places that they can go and dump legally? Is it too expensive? What are you hearing?
Well, look, yes, when we do catch the offender, they say, but where? Where do we dump this? There are designated dumping areas in all of the regions of Johannesburg.
And are those run by the municipality?
Yes, there are designated dumping sites where one can go. But they're saying that it's too far, it's difficult to reach. When they want to dump, it's closed. So we hear a lot of complaints. But what we cannot continue having is illegal dumping.
Are you putting more emphasis on this now that you're announcing an increase in that fine going from 3,000 rand per vehicle to 20,000 rand per vehicle? People will say it's all well and good that you're increasing the fine, but I'm still seeing rubble and rubbish everywhere, even in parks.
Yeah,
but are you putting more resources behind it then?
Yes. The focus is to have a lot more officers working on the bylaw unit to be able to enforce those bylaws, because of the scourge of illegal dumping all over and everywhere. So we really want to stop it and get people to start dumping at designated dumping areas, dumping sites, so it becomes a good habit instead of just dumping anywhere and all over.
Indeed. The JMPD released some of its crime statistics and performance highlights, as you call it, for the month of July, I think it is. It was announced this week, and the MMC for Public Safety, Michael Sun, was in attendance as well. And an interesting statistics that my eye fell on, and indeed I used it earlier in the show, the number that caught my eye was that 790 people were apprehended for driving under the influence of alcohol. Now, that seems like a lot for 1 month. Is it?
Mind you, that figure is even lower than the month of June.
Gosh, what happened in June?
Look at it was an increase in the number of operations that had resulted in more people being arrested. But what we're finding now is that we have been able to get a lot more people to court in a shorter period of time.
Why? What's changed?
What has changed is the EBET, which is a sophisticated machine that gives a printout, and where we don't need to take a blood sample.
Okay.
So the waiting for the blood sample, that period was really hampering a lot of these cases getting to court quicker. So with the EBAT system, it gives a printout with a reading of the person. And that printout is attached to the docket, so that when the case gets to court, the court can see what the reading was on the night of the person was arrested, and the court then can take a decision on the kind of punishment, whether it be a fine or imprisonment, depending on the circumstances and the reading and what had happened on the night when the person was arrested. So the EBAT, alcohol evidence system, it's a machine, breathalyzed, that gives a printout, which is really helping us.
So the processing is faster?
Yes, the processing is a lot faster. We started this in December, on the 21st of December, and we've already have had a fair amount of success with the EBAT.
Now, a question that I asked earlier is that we speak about drunken driving every now and again in the year, when somebody's killed, which happens far too often, and when there's a new campaign that's done in a quirky way. And you would think things like people starting to use cabs, especially certain people in a different economic or income bracket, as it were. You've got Uber hailing that happens more often now as well. Why are we not winning this battle against stopping people who are inebriated from getting behind the wheel?
I think the fines are still too lenient. So as soon as we really start getting really serious about drunken driving, from a fines point of view, where the courts has to start imposing court sentences or prison sentences. For an example, 3 years, between 3 and 10 years for drunken driving. I think then people are going to really take us serious. But what we've tried now, instead of waiting for the blood sample, is using the EBAT system with a printout to get the cases to court. And we are now in the 8th month of using it, and we are seeing a lot more cases being processed. So we are hoping that it will have the desired outcome and result, so that people can see that it's better to use a cab or to use alternative transport if you're going to be going out to have a drink or having a party.
Or just open a bottle of wine at home. It's probably best.
Probably easier or nice at home.
Indeed. Thank you so much. JMPD's Wayne Minnaar.